T.O. Blaze.
Hey there, this is Tio bringing you the 7th installment in my life support series. And in this video, the long-awaited mission to Eve has arrived. So, in some unrecorded sessions of playing, I created a couple of the vehicles. I'll be sending all of them to Eve at the same time. There you saw on screen was just a resupply vessel, just full of food and water and those kind of resources. Here we have a little more interesting vehicle. This is in that middle segment of the rocket there. You could eventually see a special vehicle designed to touch Eve's atmosphere. Eve's atmosphere is very dense. Can't really go very far without the very severe risk of not returning from Eve. So that vehicle is just kind of designed to touch the atmosphere slightly, gather some science, run some experiments, and then obviously leave the atmosphere and return to the ship or return to the station. And then the third vehicle is the main Eve Orbital Station that I assembled in previous videos. So you'll see all three of them throughout the video. Here's the main mission vehicle. This is the Orbital Station that looks kind of cattywampus. Also still kind of wobbly, despite all the different struts that I've added. But it would be even more wobbly without them. So this is decent considering. So yeah, when I have these long burns, this one's almost 4 minutes long. Sometimes I'll physics time warp through it. I know this isn't the most efficient way to conduct a long maneuver like this. You could technically break this into two separate burns, kind of do part of the burn, orbit around Kerbin, and then finish. But that requires a little more planning and finesse than I'm inclined to do. So this is just how I tell, like, what's the term? Where you just put a bunch of strap on a bunch of extra fuel and smash your head against the wall and just get it done. So there you saw my rendezvous with Eve is being planned. I'm gonna do another adjustment on the way to Eve, maybe to bring my orbit in a little closer. And while I'm leaving Kerbin's sphere of influence, running my experiments, that's part of the goal of this mission, is to unlock lots and lots and lots of science in the tech tree so we can get more unique parts. So there you see I'm planning a circularization burn for one of the vehicles. I'm going to kind of hop back and forth between the three. One of the best features ever introduced into KSP, besides EVA construction, which I know I like to rave about, was the alarm clock. Definitely very handy when planning missions like this with multiple vehicles. You got the initial burn, then you've got little adjustments you have to schedule for. You've got the final rendezvous with Eve that I'm having to plan for. So it's nice not to have to keep track of which vehicle to jump to, at each phase of the mission. The alarms remind me, which is very handy. But unfortunately, it makes for very choppy footage, and I kind of want to just show it in the order that it's played. So I guess for a more pleasant viewing experience, I could chop all this up and show one vehicle at a time, but that's not the way the game is played. It's played where you're hopping back and forth from one vehicle to the next. So this is probably the last you'll see of the supply vehicle, maybe definitely in the video, but maybe in the series. It's just parked there in case. I don't know how long these missions are going to take. The transfer windows between celestial bodies plays a factor. So if I wanted to send something back to Eve, it would take a while for the transfer window to open, and then it would take a while for the vehicle to actually get there. So that's what the supplies were for, just in case I need them. And then this is the last main part of this video, is rendezvousing those other two vehicles together. There's the station, and then there's this what do you want to call this, the surface sample return vehicle. So I'm going to rendezvous both of these and transfer any remaining fuel from the transfer stage to the main station, and then I can plan in the next video. I'll be sending that little surface science return thing into the atmosphere of, not, I shouldn't say surface, then the atmosphere sample vehicle into Eve's atmosphere. So the goal in this mission was just to get all these three vehicles to Eve, circularize, and kind of clear up some of the airspace, get the couple of the vehicles docked and that sort of thing. Kind of assess the food and water and electricity and all that stuff once I get circularized at Eve. So I don't usually do circularizations this non-circular. This is a very elliptical orbit, but I thought that return mission, I don't want to burn a lot of fuel circularizing at a low orbit around Eve. And also, there's no real point in me having a perfectly circular low Eve orbit, because I'm not planning any surface missions. This is all going to be done in orbit. So in theory, I could have done a high orbit, but I did want at least part of the orbit to get as fairly low, close to Eve's atmosphere. So yeah, usually I would circularize a much prettier circle. I like a little more circles with my circles, but in this case, I went with this elliptical orbit, this high elliptical orbit, or whatever the proper term might be. So I'm going to go ahead and dock my last vehicle. You saw the transfer stage docked, the little atmosphere vehicle docked with it, and now I'm going to dock this return vehicle for my Kerbinauts to not have to stay in orbit of Eve. So that's wrapping it up for this video. And the next one, like I said, I'm going to touch the atmosphere. So hope you guys are enjoying the little series here. If you are, please leave a comment, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'm looking forward to wrapping up the series and a couple more videos.